paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, yeah, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
Well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Brainstorm Brewery. Tonight's episode is what we would call somber episode. I'd like to start by offering this episode in dedication of my Toyota Venza, which after a car accident last week, is gone to me forever. And the worst part is the power was out. I couldn't get my George Strait CD out of the CD changer, and now that's gone forever as well.
You didn't like pry it out with the jaws of life, like that was a.
I had a car accident. It's possible
1998
I
cars and 1998 CDs require 1998 solutions. You
Most
go to the
CD
Toyota
players aren't
dealership
that
and they
old.
give you this wire thing with two prongs on both sides, and you jam it into the stereo.
It
And
was
then
a
you pull it
full-
out, and then you pull the disc out from behind. That's what you do in that situation, Corbin.
It was a 4 CD changer. It would have been so cool. I liked that
Doesn't-
car.
Don't the stereos come out of cars that old? Like they just pop out like this, like a changeable thing?
This
Yeah,
one wasn't.
probably. I mean,
Yeah,
mine
but
was
they're
stolen out of my Honda
clips. You
Civic.
need to insert these rods. At least
So
in
now we're
American cars.
going full minivan on the next vehicle.
Full minivan
Fully committing to the children
to a
thing.
1999. You're upgrading to a
Upgrading,
1999.
yeah.
I mean, I have definitely considered
Dodge
buying
Grand
a minivan.
Caravan with like a up door.
As a childless person, I have considered buying a minivan specifically to store larger amounts of Magic cards.
Yeah, I
I've-
bet that's
I've
why
cons-
DJ wants a van.
I've considered buying a bulk mobile.
Hey,
just
kids!
like
I got lots of room for Magic cards in the back. That's why I got such a big van. I tinted the windows because I don't want people to look in and see what cards I've got. But
It
you can come in.
damages
You
them. It
can come
bends
in the
them,
back
bud.
of the van.
Dude, yeah, the light coming through the windows at my LGS, like it ruined so many cards in a case, you know?
No, because you
Got
put
it.
up UV film and all the.
Well, clearly
Jason,
we should
stop
have had the
fucking
tinting.
interrupting.
No,
Oh my
You
god!
didn't
I
interrupt
had
me.
the
I just kept
tinting.
starting at the same time as him. Unless you're doing it
got-
on purpose, in which case, you. But if you're not doing it on purpose, I
I
forgive
don't think he
you.
was. Go ahead.
I'm
Matt.
just doing it because I'm sexist.
That's, you know what? I feel so valid.
refreshing.
Yeah.
I used to drive a Ford Explorer, just like a big off SUV. It was like the only car I could afford when I was a teenager, and it was like I got a used copy. Used copy.
Used copy.
No, you know what? I thought that was like a good
MP.
turn of phrase.
MP.
I was
I
like,
like it.
man,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
like
nice.
it.
I'm going to say that from now on.
MP
Used
car.
copy, that rules.
I didn't keep track of like the mileage on the car, but I know about how much bulk I drove down to SCG with it, and it's a load. That thing fit like, I think it was like a 200,000 cards in the back of it or something. Probably.
I
not
bet
that
it
many.
would easily. No,
Yeah.
I bet it would. Like that's what like 25 5 rows or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
my
reasonable.
in-laws just dropped over 225,000 cards in a, I think it's a Ford F-150, but yeah, like, gotta get value out of that somehow.
You pop the Jim Croce tape in the cassette player, hit the road, got the bulk
Hey.
in the back, head down to Roanoke.
Isn't that a little meta listening to Jim Croce while you're driving a Chevy van?
It was a Ford.
I like old cars, and I miss. All the
Someone's
old
mad
cars
that Jim
I've had.
Croce didn't write that Chevy van song, but I wasn't alive in 1973, and who gives
about
about old folk music? Hey, that actually was John Denver. Who gives a? I'm mad at you for correcting me on
Jim
just a
Croce's
throwaway
great.
joke. Hey, you pause the podcast to look at your wife and be like, I can't believe you said that was Jim Croce. Man, I don't give a shit. I can't believe you listen to this podcast with your wife also.
I do like how there's a certain feeling of being corrected on a podcast once, and you're like, I read a comment recently, it was like, oh, actually, DJ, this is why that's a thing, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat, and then I just, like, widened my eyes, and I was like, oh, no, this is one out of the next 600 comments, isn't it? Just the what's the small wave before a tsunami called, like, that kind of vibe of just like, oh, no, I learned the thing from the first comment, but now I'm about to be told that I'm
It's
wrong
a-
by
it's
600
a-
more people.
It's
who
a
all think they're the
pre-quake.
first.
The pre-quake.
When I went on
Parser.
the command zone, I told a story about stealing somebody's Torian Mauler with a Sliver Queen. and I couldn't think of Torianmalar. I couldn't come up with the name of it, and I knew it was a creature that like just got arbitrarily big.
I
And
can't
was
tell
like,
if you're doing another joke to get corrected later because you said Sliver Queen and not Sliver Overlord, so I'm going to save you from that.
Whomever. So
because now we're going to get all the comments.
now
It was Sliver
we're
Overlord,
coming.
not
It's
Sliver Queen.
actually
Sliver Overlord, not Sliver
exactly,
Queen.
and that's exactly what happened. I couldn't think of the name of card, so I said something else. I was like, "Oh, it was a Chameleon Colossus or something like that," and every comment was like, "You can't steal it. It's got protection from black."
Got protection for black, baby.
And I consider it to be like, I had Ghost Flame Sliver, motherfucker, which makes all. But like,
I look, I did Mighty Modern for a lot of years, and people will tell you when you play wrong, but then
I know
you just got a big you just you're on YouTube and you just say, that was probably wrong. I bet you're all telling me I'm wrong. Off. Good.
is that how things went on Mining Modern?
On Mighty Modern, I just say I do it for the content. Therefore, I had an excuse for every misplay I ever made. Oh, it's a better line, better content this way. I could sit here and think about this play and get it right, but I'd rather move quickly for you on YouTube.
Yeah, you can't have Naruto beat Pain in the first episode of the fight. You got to drag it on a little bit. Make them worry, make them sweat.
So speaking of sweating,
Wet? No,
Philly,
gross.
Philly.
Tell us about your car
That's all
crash.
I got. That's all I got. It was a car crash.
Tell us about the car crash, Corbin. Tell us
The
what day it
sweaty
was
car
first.
crash.
Tell the story correctly, Corbin. Tell us what day it was.
It was my birthday.
Where were you going?
I was going to McDonald's.
Why?
Because I wanted some
Wait, what
McDonald's.
time?
Well,
What ti-
Because
what
you're a
time of
piece of
day?
shit.
It was like
What-
11 p.m. and I was going to come back and I was going to put together my new Excel Commander deck with cards. I was so excited for my birthday to have McDonald's and do my Commander
It's
deck.
your birthday. This is so tragic.
And
What's
instead,
The meme picture of like the peepo tripping in the restaurant and spilling the tray, like.
and
It's
instead somebody ran out of gas in the middle of the road and left their car blocking traffic.
That's called an
Oregon
Oklahoma
Trail
parking
style.
job.
They walked away.
When you leave your car on the road.
They walked away. They abandoned their vehicle. And I was unable to swerve out of the way.
That's called a Tulsa median. You got to watch out for those.
They sure got me, man.
At least when I abandoned my car, I had the grace to do it in somebody else's driveway of an Airbnb. Like,
It's absurd. Like, I'm sitting there. And after talking it through, it seems like I probably passed out a little bit based on some timeline things. But no one knows I was the only one at the site. But I call the cops, and they're like, wait a minute. He just left? We were, like in the city. They're in a 1 mile stretch, intersection to intersection. Both of those intersections had gas stations. So the short distance either way to gas. But there they were in the middle of the road without any.
that's
Don't
incredible.
recommend. And then I stepped on a plug because I wasn't at 100%, so I'm stumbling around. I stepped on a plug.
To be clear,
One-
like an electrical plug. Like I just want to make sure.
I
Well,
was, yeah.
It's flared at one end so that
Oh,
it
yep.
can't go.
You
So
gotta have a flared base.
You got to have a
that's-
flared
that's
end, or
just good
otherwise it could
advice.
get sucked up into there.
and
so.
it punctured my foot, so now I really can't walk. It's been bad. And then the house I used to live in that Marianne's parents own was hit by a tornado yesterday, and it's gone. Yeah,
The tornado's gone, of course. Yeah, I mean, those don't
yeah.
last
So
more
it's,
than-
the house is. Well, I mean, there's some stuff standing, but no, it's gone too. So it's just been kind of a week,
Happy birthday
Listen.
to you.
We're not
that
going to
song
sit
has-
here and be
it's not royalty
surprised
free.
that a tornado took out someone's house in Oklahoma, because that's just statistically a certainty that eventually you're going to be like, hey, DJ, I know I was going to sell you my collections, but a tornado took all of my cards and redistributed them over the greater...
Monkeys and
Saying-
typewriters, yeah.
Saying someone in Oklahoma's house got blown away by a tornado is in the same vein as is the Pope Catholic and as a bear shit in the woods, right? It's just one of those certainties.
Does a
I'll have
Oklahoma
you know
City
there's a
native
lot
who
of-
used to work with Corbin at a newspaper leave a car on the road? You forgot that part, Corbin, where you knew the guy.
I did
If a
know
car is
that.
left
Damn
in the
the guy!
I knew the guy from when I was in college. Yeah.
If a car's left in the middle of the road and no one's around to hear it, does it still make a
Does
sound?
Corbin
when
still manage to
crashed?
hit it?
It felt like one of the unluckier weeks of my life.
If there are two lanes on the road and a car is in one of them, can Corbin figure out how to be in the other lane?
This is the worst trolley problem ever.
There's nothing on the other track. It'll be fine. But it's your birthday.
I think it's because I went and saw Ant-Man without my wife.
I think it's because you went and saw Ant-Man.
Gulag for you now.
We talked about going, and then I went by myself because I was out of town. And I thought I could get away with it, but then she got a receipt for me.
Jesus Christ!
You got caught cheating, bro.
Like he texted it to her phone, right? Because it was
it's not even that you went to see the movie without her. You just got caught seeing.
Just pay in cash.
Why would she tip her hand like that? If she finds out when Corbin pays for certain things, she gets an email. Why would you?
It was just for because numbers on the AMC.
Why
app
would
or
she
whatever,
tell
right?
you?
So I'm at the Pro Tour in the middle
It's
of
like,
the.
hey, why did you buy 2 movie tickets, Corbin?
Yeah, she called me and I thought something was wrong, and I answered, and she's like, "Did you go to the movie without me?" And I'm like, maybe. And then she hung up.
Can we talk about how your wife has the power to spawn tornadoes? That's dangerous.
Hell hath no fury like a redhead scorned.
It's just been a week here in Oklahoma, but that was how I recovered from Philly. How are you all recovering from the Magic Fest? That was
I don't make
Philadelphia?
mistakes like you.
Oh.
You made 3 major mistakes. That's like 1 a day since Philly.
I am thriving, Corbin. Thank you for asking. I've bought some collections. I brought back a ton of Magic cards from Philly. One of which is
Breaking Bolt time. Breaking Bolt time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking Bulk. The end.
an Urza's Destiny blue common.
This is
Scent
stealth breaking bulk
scent,
here.
Scent of
Of the blue, of the river.
Whatever you're saying, no.
Blue
scent
uncommon? From
No,
Urza's
blue
what,
common.
Destiny?
Blue common.
Oh,
blue common from
that's
Urza's
uncommon. That cycles.
Frantic search.
Is
No,
it the
that's
one where you
Legacy.
put
Oh, this is the
archery
bottle.
counters on it?
It's a bottle.
Wait, Jason, what?
The archery counters one, or the accuracy counters?
No.
It's something study maybe.
I never played this limited format.
It is not.
Jason,
careful
does it
study.
help to know that Urza's Destiny is the bottle?
It's an Erlenmeyer flask.
I
Oh,
will.
yes.
I'll even throw y'all a bone and say that it has one whole reprint in dual deck Venzer Koth.
Snap. No.
No.
No, Snap
That's
Wizards
Legacy.
is a legacy.
Legacy, yeah. Also, that card's been worth something for forever.
Sub. Oh, that's.
In German, Snap is Schneepsen, and I thought that was the coolest shit ever when I was like 13 and opened exactly one pack of that set.
It's German for the Jason, the...
Nobody
supposed
who
to pick
speaks
real
German
cards.
could be evil.
EJ.
Foils of
I
this
think
card
you
are
might
$20 to
have me on.
$30.
Is it a creature or an aura?
It is an aura.
Yeah.
And
And it's
Penim's
not
aura.
that. Okay, so if is it the one that
Penim's shield.
Pemin's aura?
No,
There's
that's
aura.
a Scourge.
That's Scourge, yeah.
What was in Scourge?
Emin's Aura?
Pemin's aura was Urza's Saga, wasn't
Nope.
it?
No, Scourge. It's got a little dragon. Or beast or whatever that symbol is.
Jason, you
Jason
said
Saga.
archery counters, and I was a little worried because it does have an archer on the art of the card. It is Sigil of Sleep.
That's what I was thinking. I thought of that card's art, but I thought it was the one where you put
I was like,
accuracy
archery
counters
or
on it
accuracy
whatever.
counters? No, but this is an aura for 1 blue. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to a player, you may unsummon a creature that player controls. You may bounce one of their creatures. So,
Yeah, it's a cool man. I suck at card names.
I
You
mean-
heard that Command Zone story.
if you said the one with an archer on it, I was just about to say like, yeah, you sure? I mean, you're like,
Yeah, but
archery
you know what?
counters.
I let that screw me up. I was like the archer, and then I was like, oh, it's the one with archery counters or whatever. There were some really weird auras in that set.
But yeah, I mean, this has been reprinted once, like I said, and the dual deck Venser Koth, so basically never. And it's just like a nice $1.50. You could probably list these on direct for $2.99 if you're feeling cheeky and you have a brick of near mint copies. I'm sure they'd sell.
All
if
right,
you're feeling
cheeky,
cheeky.
I'm about to stump you all.
You sure? Okay, let's do it.
But
It's a
stop us
green.
dead in our tracks, like what's the brand of your car? Like, like.
I am going to
Joke's
go
over.
across both lanes with this pick.
My poor Venza.
You're going to have blood and glass in your eyes when you're done trying to guess this.
Oh, this card.
You are going to
is-
step on a plug in an unrelated accident.
I think they might have been related, though.
How much glass do you need in your face before Norn counts you as Phyrexian in the census?
He's just trying to be completed. One airbag deployment at a time.
Just cosplaying.
He's more machine than man now.
We have the technology. We can fix him.
This is a green uncommon from the set for Rexia. All will be one.
I don't know.
Damn
I
it,
can't name a
Cass.
single card
The
from
card
it.
is
I
a
know
man-
you can't. I know DJ wasn't going to get it either.
I was gonna guess
That card
Tyvar-
is a mana sink for infinite mana off Devoted Druid. I am playing that card in
a
Modern.
cool card. It's a cool card.
Oh,
Tyvar
I
Stand.
wrote about that combo. That's embarrassing. I don't know any cards.
It also it gives your creatures indestructible or hexproof, right? So it's very good. Hexproof and indestructible. So I just
It
got
also
blown out by that card several times, and it's $1.
It has good flavor text too.
It's good art too. The card's kind of a slam dunk and like.
All right, hold up. Let's
Everywhere.
see here. When they write songs about this battle, I will make sure your name is forgotten, devil. Okay, well, you just named them.
Well, his name is Tibble.
Just named them right there in the quote. I'll make sure they forget your name, Tom.
What? He didn't.
He said devil, not Tibble.
Yeah.
Tybalt the Fiend. Tybalt's a devil, right? Is that his thing?
Tybalt's
Yeah.
half Phyrexian. Tybalt's Phyrexian.
You knew.
now, too.
Listen, all I know
I
is you
bite
know
my
who
thumb at
Tivar
you.
was talking. You knew who Tivar was talking about.
A little
Is
Shakespeare
Tivar
joke, no one got it.
subtweeting people in flavor text?
Tivar says devil, and you knew who he was talking about. That's all I'm saying.
See, I have the card like right here.
Jason, you're up. What do
Yeah.
you got?
Europe.
You're up.
Okay. I was trying to relate it to that joke I made about Poland, but maybe. I was visited by some people from the Polish community at Kalamazoo. And after they beat me senseless with these weird clubs that have a wooden knob at the end, I don't know what that's all about.
Shillelagh? Isn't that Irish?
Yeah, I know what a shillelagh is. But
I
they
have
were
no idea.
Polish, dude. Weren't you listening? Anyway,
It's all the same to me.
they made me some pierogies and then let me go with a warning. So,
Wow, W.
Polish American people and people in Poland and people, I don't know. This is a dumb bit. I'm abandoning this. Let's just do the regular breaking bulk here.
Much like America and Poland.
We're just abandoning this bit. Goodbye. Oh, they've annexed the Sudetenland, huh? That sounds troubling. All right. See ya. This card is from Throne of Eldraine, and it is a white uncommon, and it is like $1.50.
All that glitters.
No. It's not all the glitters.
definitely- Silence.
Casket.
Is this one of those things where I guess it and then you say no
Glass-
to 7 other things?
No,
and you say it is
that
a
was
Archon.
very funny, but that was only going to be funny
Glass
once.
casket.
No, it's not glass casket. Well, you
Is it deafening silence?
you sounded like the dude in Family Guy was like, "It's a jackal, a jackal," and I don't know why I just said Corbin. It's not glass casket. I let you say it 40 times. I don't know why I did that. What was that, Cass?
Deafening silence or glorious archon, I think is what the
It's
card's called.
deafening silence. Each player can't cast more than one non-creature spell each turn.
I have that card in my
Fantastic
legacy deck.
Fantastic
That's
card. Yeah. Good
Playing
stuff.
Magic makes you cracked at this game.
Occasionally, but let's see how your skills are on the other side here, Cass. What is your breaking bulk?
I have a Corset 2020 white rare.
Isolate.
9 lives. Is it
Mad
the?
Lives is 2021.
I said Isolate. Is that it, or is that M19?
Nope. I think that's 19. Yeah, it's 19. It's on the uncut sheet I have.
By the way,
That's like my favorite thing I own is the M19
Yeah.
foil uncut sheet.
M20 white rare. Oh, Sun. Is it the one that removes counters from your opponent? Like it's like a
No.
white 1/4 for
Sun
2 or something.
Sun
like that?
I think
Cleanser
it's
is
Sun
what
Cleanser.
DJs.
Nope.
White rare.
How much is this worth? Is it like a bulk rare?
It's like a couple bucks.
That's
White rare.
Johnny's
What's that,
Last
2020?
Stand.
Nope.
No. I was gonna guess Leonin War Leader, but I think that's also M19.
Is it,
It's like an $8
19.
card. It's like an $8 card.
is it brought back?
It is brought back.
Ooh.
Aspiring
show,
Spike
Jason.
spent a lot of this week playing a deck that was playing Elishmorn. Brought back, you can crack 2 fetchlands on turn 2, brought back them both and have 5 mana on turn 3, or you can evoke a Solitude and crack a fetchland and get both those back.
Ooh.
Card's powerful, and the card's like $1 or $2 on
Yeah.
TCG Player, and the direct copies are closer to 2 or 3, so cards worth something in bulk rares, and also trending upwards, so it's kind of secretly also a pick of the week, so I think I
Yeah,
went
Breaking
that's
bulk of the
breaking
week,
bulk
yeah.
of the week. We like those.
The cool thing about direct premium is that number is they go from $2.99 to $6.99 very quickly because of how the fee
Mhm.
structure works.
all the $5 foils of brought back are disappearing.
Yeah.
Like selling cards on direct at $3 to like $4-ish isn't profitable at all. You basically make 0 additional money. You're just giving the money to TCG Player. So most stores will just price against that and put a dead zone in for like $2.99 is fine, and then their next cheapest listing for any card will be like $5 or $6. So if you're a direct seller and you want to take advantage of that, you can, or you could just like be a savvy buyer and just try to get copies before they are $5 or $6.
DJ, there's been a lot of talk of that gap in the TCG Player structure. Do you think anything needs to fundamentally change, or do you think it just kind of is what it is?
I think that a more evenly distributed fee structure would be better for everybody. I am not saying that TCG needs to decrease their fees significantly, but something does need to happen so that it's just better for both buyers and sellers. Like, it's just very bad for prices on direct go from $19.99 and then the next cheapest copy is like $26.99.
I also think that one of the big problems the TCG players having recently is their fees are higher than ever, and the services they're offering are worse than ever.
Yes.
And like TCG Player ultimately is a product for sellers also. Like it's obviously a product for consumers, but you know, if I'm paying what was like 4% plus a couple extra points in fees, like I need some service from that, and I'm not getting that a lot of the time. I don't sell TCG Player much anymore, but when I was, I felt like I wasn't getting my value for my fees.
Yeah, Card Trader has been the biggest potential competitor to TCG lately.
Yeah.
Their fees are lower than TCG, and there's the benefit of that you don't get destroyed on like those specific breakpoints. It's always just the same fee no matter what value of card you sell. One of my favorite examples that I've tried to bring to TCG players' attention is just sort of getting them to think about things from our perspective, which I think that TCG player is very good at pretending to listen to problems and then ignoring them and hoping they go away. But I brought up just a random $21 card. It wasn't a Torian Mauler or a Chameleon Colossus. I couldn't tell you the card name, but I just brought it up to somebody at an event, and this is a somewhat high up person at TCG Player, and I said, I brought up all the buy lists, and I said, what am I supposed to pay on this card? Like, if I want to sell this card on TCG Player's platform and have this card sell through direct, and then you get your money, I get my money, everybody wins theoretically. What should I pay buy list on this card, on this buyback
like
for me?
It's like $11, right? Like you have to pay such a small amount on a card like that for it to be profitable.
Because if I sell like a Polluted Delta or something on TCG for $20.87, I net like $13 after shipping and fees and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
And that's not counting the price I paid to buy the card. And that is not realistically feasible when Card Kingdom pays $16 or something.
Right.
It is just incentivizing me to not use the platform. And I'm happy with TCG Player making money off me as long as they're providing a mutually beneficial symbiotic experience. But that's just hasn't been happening.
As long as you're not giving them 60% so you can make 40. Like, as long as it makes sense.
I feel like we're in the late stage part of the TCG Player product lifestyle. And who's going like they are the market. TCG Player was so big that Channel Fireball called it quits in a year, and they got acquired by eBay because eBay couldn't.
That might have been intentional, to be fair. Like, that might have just been like a really savvy business move by John Sasso to like make something really quick out of like sand.
I'm sure there was a lot of pivoting there. But yeah, I mean that. I just don't see TCG Player. I see a lot of talk of frustrated of vendors wanting to start up a new platform, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying we've watched several things come and go, and all that's happened is TCG Player has gotten bigger, and now they're eBay, and you have this eBay TCG Player owned marketplace for singles, which is an enormous amount of the of the entire sales for it across North America. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot. I just don't know that TCG Player has any incentive to really do much, right? Like,
speaking of incentives,
eBay was never really in the business of making things easier for sellers.
No.
And
eBay's always been on the buyer's side no matter what.
I won an eBay case last week. I did it.
I don't believe you. You can show me
you
proof and I
are
wouldn't
you are
believe
the
you.
1%.
I got an email like 3 or 4 months ago saying this buyer has opened up a case for a sealed case of Jumpstart that I sold back in like July. This is forever ago. And several months later, I got an email saying, "Oh, they opened a case. Submit your resolution. Blah blah. Submit your dispute, etc." I sent as many pictures as I could, crossed my fingers, and then a few months later, I heard back, and they're like, "Nope, you're good. You get to keep your money." So, maybe it's a once in a blue moon thing, but
I saw somebody recently get scammed on a serialized card, and then the same serialized card popped up on eBay from the scammer. And eBay was still trying to resolve that dispute in favor of the original buyer, in this case the scammer.
This is literally the only one with that number in the world.
I would think that one would like get handled or whatever, but that's what I saw.
You're assuming anybody
get
though.
Yeah, well, and more than that, like if you get a human at eBay, I bet you can resolve that pretty quickly. How difficult is it to get a human for anything nowadays? To actually look at your situation and
these robots are taking our terrible customer service jobs.
There is also historical precedent of eBay not giving a shit about that because graded cards have serial numbers.
Yeah.
And for years now, like people in the Pokemon sphere have been, like someone sold a card and they're like, "Hey, I had that. It was stolen from my shop like 2 weeks ago. I have photographic proof of it. Like, there's record of this. Can you give me my money back?" And TCG Player just said, "Lol, nah." Or eBay did, rather. eBay, not TCG Player.
Well,
as a reminder, all of those breaking bulks came to you courtesy of MTG Stocks, the #1 place on the internet for your MTG finance information. You can look on the premium side. You get price alerts, trends, underpriced cards, expanded interests. It is by far the best resource available to you as someone who wants to keep up with the Magic market, which, as we've been talking about, changes pretty regularly.
Are you reading that off of a monitor?
The monitor of like my brain.
Why would they not give us copy?
Because Jason, I am the copy.
But they've listened to this podcast, right? They heard what I said about
they
Channel
love the
Fireball.
pitches. They love the pitches.
Listen, Channel Fireball not around anymore, so we can say without it being libel that they had a sweatshop. Can we say that now?
But their marketplace is really good. Who's to say what's good or bad?
I never had a single problem with that marketplace. Let's put it that way.
You never used.
You could say that Card Shop Live also might not use the same sweatshop. I mean, that could or could not be true.
Yeah.
Just
maybe
one
they have their own
sweatshop
sweatshop. Or no
CFC
sweatshop
Marketplace
at all. Perhaps.
It was dope because people would list Pokemon cards and not pay attention, and like things would go up in price substantially, and they would still just be the same price and because no one shopped there.
Ooh,
and that's how I
that
bought
was
like
the old what was the
Card
website,
Shark.
Jason?
Card
Bidwicket.
Shark.
Bidwicket, baby.
Dude, oh my god, I used Bidwicket to buy list back in the day.
I did too. Well, there's some old tools there. I'm pretty sure it still
They're paying
exists.
55 cents on this, and everyone else is paying $0.25, but they're only taking 7. All right, I'll open up a new shopping cart. And then it's like, wait, with what I paid in shipping, I should have just sent them all to one place. I had 5 different places I was sending it with Bidwicket, and I was sending like thousands of dollars to each one, and I was like, I should have just sent all of this to Card Kingdom.
I eventually hit that point as well.
It's like,
but
they're paying a quarter instead of a dime, but it's like, okay, how much is shipping?
Well, yes, it painful. That was then. It's only slightly easy. You'd think it would have, but it's only slightly easy.
Don't tell
Speaking
people
of,
about Card Shark. I still snipe prices cards that
good
went
for
up.
you. If you remember it exists,
If
more
I
power
do.
to
That's
you.
the first place. If people are talking about it on Reddit, I know it's already gonna be like sold out on like cool stuff and places like that. I go straight to Card Shark, and half the time, the person
the
sends
most advertising Card Sharks card in a decade. You're gonna crash
Hey man,
their website.
they could have paid me to write articles for them in 2010, and I would have done it. I would have been Mr. fucking Card Shark. I would have bought a San Jose Card Sharks jersey and everything, man.
Oh, good for you, Jason. I believe that you would have done that.
I would have a YouTube page called The Card Shark right now if they just thought about having me on
Well,
there.
they really messed up, didn't they?
You'd have like the headpiece from Raft.
Yeah.
We should play some Raft, y'all. All right, moving on.
Let's play some Raft tonight.
We should play some. We got to play some Raft. Another thing you could play, though, if your favorite format is Commander, and we know it is because you play Magic, and that's all that's allowed to be your favorite format. So we know you're a huge Commander fan, and that is why Commander Masters is coming to be a draftable set near.
If by draftable you mean it's a $400 box or whatever, so if
Don't you wanna do that
$36
so
a
you
pack
can-
seems draftable to you, then yeah, it's draftable.
Yeah, so then you can jam your vanilla creatures into each other in a 4-player game the last 2 hours.
I do
Commander
think
Masters
they've gotten
is coming.
better. They've gotten better at
expensive.
designing multiplayer focused sets in the past like 5 years.
I agree. Look, it's expensive though, as a lot of people have noted. It's another master set after the end of the master sets. Do we think this is just weirdness with the pricing out of the gate, or do we think this is just the new prices for post-inflation layoffs Hasbro, or somewhere in between? Is there going to be value to justify?
I think when you're a seller on a platform like the ones that are currently listing it, you have no incentive to start low. Like you have no
Yes.
idea how much product you're going to get. So if I'm in that position, I'm listing a small amount at a very high price, and if it sells great. Once I have a better understanding of how much allocation I'm actually getting, I can make more informed decisions.
There's
I think-
also no penalty to like canceling pre-orders on Amazon.
Right.
So I would not want to be somebody who is pricing low, getting a bunch of pre-orders, and having those pre-orders canceled the day before the set comes out.
Well, that's one of the I've seen people saying that part of the reason the price might have got driven up is because of how many people are just blocking in pre-orders with the intention of canceling them if that isn't that expensive.
The other alternative here is that it could just be we all know that Wizards uses the secondary market when determining which reprints go into a set. There's reprint equity against price of the packs, and they'll figure out exactly what should be in a set, what shouldn't be. Oh, let's take this card out because we can't have another.
And how they're going to justify having Comet Storm be the red mythic again.
Right, but like this could just be a sign that the set is just stacked like Ultimate Masters was, where every card is just like Avacyn Angel of Hope or Great Henge level, and like you're paying $360 a box, but getting a reasonably solid spread of just cards that are worth that right now. They could just be like there's precedent. There's a lot of precedent in the past 2 years for put everything in the set and make it $2.
I also tend to think that there is something to the fact of if they're like, okay, well, we're doing a master set again. We're doing Commander Masters. We're going for it, right? We're doing it. And they just start plucking a bunch of $50 cards into it. You're going to end up with expensive packs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, it's like Jeweled Lotus, Great Henge, etc. Like,
Etc.
etc.
So it's abbreviated EXC.
Well, it's a former cetera.
Yeah, I agree. It's a former setup. I thought that was pretty clear, to be honest with you.
What is Cetra from?
Latin.
Final Fantasy VII?
Latin, Jason. The answer is the Latin language.
There was like a race of people called the Cetra in a video game I played. Whatever.
I think that Cetra is also like a Fire Emblem character, maybe. Cetra.
Everybody's a
That's
Fire
right.
Emblem character. How many characters are in Fire Emblem? It's silly.
Well, there's like 30 of them in Smash.
I know. I
so-
was just thinking the next Smash Brothers game is just going to be, oops.
I'm actually low key,
Emblem.
like, I'm angry about how good Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is, but the fact is they're not doing any more characters for it, and all the characters, like, we have 12 fighters. We've got a bunch of stupid Fire Emblem sword characters, but we don't have Boo. We like
Boo?
My
Boo.
like the ghost from
Boo?
Mario,
the Ghost, King Boo.
or just Boo.
Go
my
play
favorite thing
Mario
about
Kart.
my favorite thing about Smash Ultimate is that the best character, from what I understand, is just unequivocally Minecraft Steve,
Yeah.
and they just can't do anything about it because like the
They
game's
banned
life cycle's over.
a lot of tournaments banned the DLC because Steve is so broken.
That's so funny to me.
That's what I'm
Steve
hoping
is-
the Lord
yeah.
of the Rings set is.
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
Steve is pretty funny.
If the
You
best
can
card-
spell out FU in letters.
Steve being the best character in Smash is the same thing as White Plume Adventurer being the best creature legacy. It's the same
Yes.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
I
It
just
just
want
hits level-
Gandalf to be like a tier 0, pitch it to solitude, like incredible game-breaking staple that they can't ban.
I
You-
want
you-
Gandalf
yeah.
to be Hogak 2.0, or yeah, like
Yes.
that power level.
Yes.
You mentioned Lord of the Rings. There were some leaks.
Are we
that
actively
may-
cheering for the end of the game?
may
Why
or may
not
not
at
be
this
real.
point?
It feels like we're like, I would love to have my Mondays off again and not have to do this podcast. So if they could continue all the shitty decisions they're making and take this thing to its natural conclusion,
Lord
where
of
it's
the Rings
like
is gonna rock.
secret layer
Jason.
Play-Doh or whatever Nerf guns or whatever the they have isn't selling over at Hasbro, and then the game just completely jumps the shark.
I'm selling
I'll
pickaxes
put
to
on
the end
that-
of the gold rush, baby.
I'll put
Let's
on that
go.
card
Like,
shark costume and you can jump over me.
Jason, the shark has been jumped, my man. I
Yeah,
don't know
but
if
no
we're
one,
gonna say-
no one but me will acknowledge it.
I don't
So
know
that's
if it
why
was
I
Walking
feel crazy.
Dead.
I sent you a heartfelt DM about how I agree with you.
I don't know if it was The Walking Dead that was jumping the shark or somewhere else.
The
in
Walking
It's
there.
Dead-
literally Shark
that
Typhoon,
felt
right?
like
Like
something.
that's
I mean, that part
It might
fucking
be
rips, and I will
love-
fight you on that.
The thing is, they hit a new low with the Love Sack sponsored one.
Oh,
So like the shark had been jumped, and then they found like it pulled them beneath the surface, sort of thing.
the secret layer where you ripped the sticker off to make the battlefield forge, that felt like something changed in the game for me.
I actually have a bunch of
Really?
those stickers stuck to my
That one
printer
was-
right here.
That one was fun.
that Grim
like
Tutor
that.
is completely unplayable too.
Oh yeah, that secret layer is everything hype beast culture symbolizes.
Yeah.
Overpriced, kind of ugly, and like expensive for no reason. And like we still buy it. It's fine.
It does not go through the Roga, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
What does it do to the Roka?
I just like doesn't recognize it because the foiling and the texture is just so awful. For
Oh, I thought
image
it like
recognition.
the suction cup would rip it off or something like that.
No, I'm talking about the Grim Tutor. I
You'd
don't
wake up
probably-
and there'd be cards all over the floor because of that thing.
That's what the old sorting machine did. The old sorting machine was so bad.
How bad
Like-
was it?
It wouldn't stop if it recognized if a problem happened. So if it started like picking up 2 cards and crunching one, it would just keep going, and it wouldn't like have the self recognition to be like, oh, error, stop.
Needed a little bit of
DJ's
AI in there.
DJ's old sorting machine was a lot worse. It cost him like $12 an hour and like talk back.
Why does your sorting machine have a choker around it? Like,
Moving right along. Hey,
HR?
How do y'all feel about the LOTR leak? Not the cards themselves. Like, there's this story that an uncut sheet or something of the LOTR set was found in a dumpster, posted to Reddit, taken down hours later, with a couple of cards revealed, like an Aragorn card, a Gollum card, a Frodo card.
I don't care because it feels like an equal number of times that's been true and that's been and I don't really care. I don't want to think about every day is spoiler day. Do I want to think about a set that I don't have to worry about for a couple of months? Do I have to worry about spoilers for that too? Leave me the
Spoilers
fuck
might
alone.
not even be real.
It's always spoiler day, but you know what? We could add more spoilers by spoiling that the universe spoiled because somebody went dumpster diving behind a print shop. I don't care. Please, let's talk about Lord of the Rings when it makes sense to talk about that set, which is not today. Ah, fuck!
Speaking of good ones, have you been to Coalesce Apparel lately? Because there's some new designs on there. New Brainstorm Brewery designs. There's some new designs for your favorite content creators, including Ristic Studies. DJ showing you the shirt there. Go check out Coalesce Design and Apparel. Use the gift code Brainstorm Brewery.
We have a shirt and it has Cass's face on it, and it's going to be worn by neckbeards.
That's the one you should go get. Well, I that's not maybe the pitch I would have gone with.
Yeah.
It'll also be worn by you.
Oh, okay. I
I
think
basically
I
only
think it
have
looks great.
Coalesce stuff at this point. Like,
Yeah.
Coalesce is
mostly
doing
wear-
what my wardrobe, what Darn Socks or Darn Tough Socks did. And I just like bought one pair, realized that they were quality, and then just phased out everything else over a couple holidays.
Wait, I need to know about this sock finance. I need new socks. What socks am I supposed to
Darn
keep in
Tough.
mind? My foot is really fucked right now.
Darn
hey, you know
Tough.
what we haven't done in a while? We haven't been like, if this many people raise their Patreon level. Speaking of Coalesce, Joey D and I were talking about the hockey jersey
Mm-hmm.
that Jim is selling. Jim Davis, creator of Garfield, is selling on the Coalesce web, and it's like $100+ bucks, but you get 10% off with the gift code Brainstorm Brewery. So we were thinking about it because you can get any name and any number on it. So that's cool, but I don't know if I really want to pay all that much for a jersey. So I think that I should do a challenge. Like, I will buy that jersey and I will put whatever name and number the Discord votes.
I like this idea. I like where this is going.
If we get 10 people to go up to $10 from wherever they were, from 0, 1, 2, or 5. If we get 10 people to go up to 10.
Boom. We get 10 people up their level on Patreon.
Make Jason
We
put
will,
Mommy Milkers on the back of his jersey.
Oh, God.
I'll put
He would
whatever
like
name
that.
and number.
Oh, man. And well, the number is going to be clearly a 69.
It's going to be 69 for real. Like,
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't think they've ever
88.
done another number. They've
Or
just like
88.
Your YouTube should be youtube.com/Brainstorm Brewery, where you can find and subscribe to this podcast. And after you do that, you can go to patreon.com/BSB.
Corbin's just like
pledge.
and
Corbin's
up your price to
falling asleep.
$10, so I have to wear the hockey jersey.
Get Jason in on the jersey.
Corbin's
And-
falling asleep at the wheel. So he's just like bringing this podcast to a screeching halt, 60-0, not unlike another car that went 60-0 recently.
It wasn't going 60.
Why not? It was your
65.
birthday. You're going to let that McDonald's get cold? Dude, you're probably going 90.
I didn't even have the McDonald's yet, and I
I need some
didn't get
McDonald's
any.
after this cast. I'm feeling it.
It's tragic. The point is, it's time for pick of the week.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Corbin never got his McDonald's.
I got it the next day.
Hey, why
Um,
didn't Corbin get McDonald's ice cream on his birthday?
What? What is the Corbin Hostler meal at McDonald's?
Just a handful of glass. And you get to use their phone to call the
His-
cops.
His own blood.
I just get a McDouble meal. Very
You're
simple.
so basic.
Yes,
A McDouble?
the meal. Make it a meal.
Make it, what do you say, supersize me at the window like it's 1992? Like,
You weren't
He's a
alive
McDonald's
then, DJ. Calm down.
1992.
You gotta use your McDonald's app.
I
bro.
guessed. I took a shot in the dark.
They
The point
started that in
is-
like 90, 95. Remember the Arch Deluxe? Yeah, I remember the Arch Deluxe. That was a good
Remember the
song.
Shamrock Shake? I don't.
That is a good running gag that we don't revisit enough. The Shamrock Shake.
Oh
I
my
saw
God.
something
Nobody,
about it the other day.
No, there are people listening to this podcast that don't know the Shamrock Shake lore. Of
Well, I don't know
Corbin
about
Shamrock
the-
Shake shame.
lore.
If you don't know about the Shamrock Shake, you're in good company. Don't worry.
Yeah, Corbin didn't know what a Shamrock Shake was. We were both.
Me and Jason just like brought it
We were
up like
floored.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's
that
like,
was
that's
our
like not
reaction.
knowing what the McRib is. It's a cultural movement.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, it's exactly. But the McRib comes when pork is cheap.
No, the
The
McRib.
Shamrock Shake comes every goddamn
Also,
March.
The McRib is unplayable. The Shamrock Shake rocks.
No,
the
no,
McRib-
No,
Shamrock
the
Shake's
McRib
gone
is pick
downhill.
one, pack one.
Wow.
How
That-
dare you?
This was the reason this topic got brought up. Is the Shamrock Shake is just plummeted like anti-stocks for the past 15 years. And it's
Is
the
it worse
Arby's.
now?
The Arby's one is insane. The Arby's
Arby's
Shamrock.
one goes hard.
It's so good. It's like
It's a
2,000
McRib-
calories.
Listen, the McRib is self-explanatory, and the Shamrock Shake is not. It's not a shake of shamrocks.
Pick of the week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
Pick of the week. I'm gonna go with a Mirrored and Besieged card. Raiders Council. It is.
You didn't even give me a chance to guess.
It's not a guessing game. This card is $2 to $4 depending on what you look at. So the Mirrored and Besieged version is $4 and climbing. The Commander 2014 version, however, is about $3.
Has it been that long since that card was printed?
Oh yeah, it was in a list printing, which is what's probably tempered the price recently. That said, I think really that's just gonna give you an opportunity to pick them up cheap. You can get them, because we're seeing $4 and climbing on the others. You can get in on Predators Council at $2 on the reprint. It's just they seem determined to keep it at Mythic, based on the printings. So if we see it again, it'll probably be at Mythic, taking a Commander Masters, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's a pretty powerful card, as it turns out. I've had a little more experience with it recently. I've been playing creature decks, and it's once you get out of sort of your X spell, Cabal Coffers, Torment of Hailfire in game, you start finding other cool cards you can use for a bunch of mana like Predators Council.
I have to go last.
All right, Jason, what do you got?
Thalia and the Get Rog Monster is the most popular commander deck being built from whatever set that's in. I can't keep up. Whatever set Thalia and the Get Rog Monster, they're doing mashup cards now, Dragon Ball Z style.
March of the Machines.
Teams.
March of the Machines, yeah.
Mom.
So Thalia's right now are on the back of the Get Rog Monster, but there's another Get Rog Monster that's $5, and it's very good, and it goes in, unless you're crazy, it goes in 100% of Thalia and the Get Rog Monster decks, just like as a rule.
Yeah.
So that's a $5 buy. That card unlikely to get reprinted anytime soon. So I think you get out at 10 on the Get Rog Monster pretty easily. And they're $4.50 on TCG Play right now. So I don't know, man. Figure out how to make money on that.
That card's also just like historically really powerful, and it doesn't take a lot to push a card like that up. Yeah, big fan of that pick.
All right, Cass, what are you looking at?
I am picking Omnath, Locus of Creation from Zendikar Rising. Card's been like somewhere between $7 and $10 for the last 6 to 8 months, I think. It is seeing new play in Modern actually because of Elishnorn, Mother of Machines. The illustrious 6/2 and not single anymore, Mason Clark, won an RCQ with it, and then a bunch of people the next day won a bunch more RCQs with it. It's a 4-of and all these 4-color pitch elemental decks. And we're getting another Omnath, and they kind of go together in a Modern deck in theory. So there's also a slight direct premium and a slight playset premium on the card on TCG Player.
It also exports very well.
Yeah.
Also, it's going to get put in 100% of the 5-color Omnath decks.
Yeah.
So like it's going to get played in the 99 more than before also.
Agreed.
Lots to like.
Will there be Omnaths after this? Or are we done with Omnath?
Might get a
I hope
close
not.
Omnath someday.
You give me an Omnath every 2 years, and I will complain less about the fact.
Well, they're
that
just
you're
out
giving
of
us
they're out of
nonsense.
colors.
When the
They're out of colors,
Eldrazi
Jason.
get Phyrexianized, they come in, they're gonna do the Eldrazi thing to Omnath and he'll be colorless.
Okay, you know what? That's probably correct.
That'd be cool.
It would actually be dope because he started on
That's
Zendikar,
probably
right?
just correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Omnath, Locus of Wastes.
Locus of the green one. Remember in
Locus of
old
the,
school Commander how strong that card
I think
was?
it'd be like Locus of
Locus of the Mirror Pool?
Locus of the Maelstrom, right? Or whatever they call the space in between planes.
No, that's
Eldrazi.
literally the third. Well, the third one is Locus of the Royal.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
But like the Royal is like the water on Zendikar. The Royal is what they call the spirit of Zendikar. It'd be like Locus of the Blind Eternities or something, which would be fucking sick.
Might be it.
Maybe he would be colorless,
Locus
but
of
have
Nothingness. Locus of the
5-color
Void.
activation.
Locus of the
That'd be
Void.
cool.
Locus of the Void would be good.
That would be good. I agree. I like all of that actually. All right. Well, I guess they've got at least one more Omnath lined up after this.
This has been a very fun cast, and I will end it by picking a thematically appropriate card that will also make Jason tilt. My pick of the week is
Perfect.
Farewell
You son of a bitch.
from Neon Dynasty. One of Jason's least favorite cards in the game. This is, I think, if it doesn't get a reprint, the next Cyclonic Rift. It is just like a card that people can mindlessly put in every single deck that has white in it, and you can pick a mode when you draw it, and you'll be happy when you cast it, no matter what the situation is. And it's currently 10. It started at 3. Those are Cyclonic Rift graph numbers in terms of it's been a year and it's that price. I think that if it
I
dodges,
wish I hadn't torn so many of them in half.
I think if it dodges reprints in Commander Masters and continue, like, I don't think they can put it in a precon, but this is just one of those cards that we will look at a year or two from now and be like, "Yep, it's 20." It's
It
just
also
the
has
way
a
it is.
weird issue of I don't think they can use the base art for it anymore. I'm not sure what their stance is on that, but
Oh,
I
with
think the artist,
Sebekiden.
I think the artist for the base art is persona non grata to WotC at this point, so they'd have to use the showcase art, which I'm not sure how licensing with Japanese artists works. That might make it harder to reprint.
Those are
that would be so
brilliant
good
factors.
if Seb McKinnon made it unreprintable.
Farewell is a heck of a card. I got the Toxic Precon last week, which is pretty fun. But I was going through it, and it has a Merciless Eviction.
Mhm.
Like, oh, we don't need this card anymore. I'm gonna put a Farewell.
That at
in
least
this
had a
slot.
little bit of skill. It was like, ooh, do
I
I
agree,
wipe the
I
board or
agree.
do I just Jason by naming enchantments? And now it's like, I don't have to think, actually.
I have to agree with you that Farewell, like you're right, Cyclonic Rift is a good comparison. It just seems to be at that line because it just actually cleans up everything.
It might as well have Miracle, because people like, if you Miracle a card, you're like, well, I have no choice but to play this.
The card also exports really well to Japan because they play a lot of Pioneer there, and especially the showcase version because that art is very popular there. So
Yeah, and that's right, Farewell. I mean, for an effect like that to be good enough for constructed play, it has to really, really.
It feels a
Well,
little
6
weird to
mana.
pick a card at $10 after it was $3 a year ago, but I am that confident.
All right, well, everybody, thank you for sticking around, listening to the podcast. It was a tough week for me, but I'm glad I got to share some of it with you, laugh about it, hang out with these fine folks. So, everybody, thank you once again for listening to Brainstorm Brewery. We'll see you next week.
Stay safe removing that plug cord.